this is Katie. This is not an ad for JCPenney, but that logo is like perfectly right there. But anyway, in today's video, I am actually going to be talking about how I do YouTube. I am going to talk about the camera that I use, how I edit my videos. I'm also going to give you guys some tips just in case you were curious about how to start your own channel, or you're just curious about how I do things. That's kind of going to be this whole video, which I know is pretty different than a lot of my other content, but I like to do different content, you know, and then also B, a lot of people have asked. A lot of people ask what kind of camera I use, what editing software I use, and all that kind of stuff. And so if you're interested in knowing any of that, just keep watching. So first of all, make sure that you're subscribed. Number one rule of being a YouTuber is remind people to subscribe in the beginning of the video, and I'm really bad at that, but subscribe, ring the bell, do all the things. So, okay, so let's just start off with this. I started my channel 6.5 years ago, almost 7 years ago. And most of you guys don't know that because I only did like a few videos and then I stopped for 2 years. Back then I used my phone. I had an iPhone something, 6 or something. And then when I picked it up again a little over 4 years ago, I used my phone again for another 1.5 years. Then I decided to like be a businesswoman and buy a camera. And so I bought this camera that you guys are seeing me through right now. And it's a Canon G7X Mark I. So like the most original one that they made, the first one that they made, and I got it refurbished off the Canon website for about $400. I think new it was about $6 or something. And I've had this camera for almost 3 years, and it still works, but I've mentioned to you guys that it's like real dirty. Like you can always see specks of like dust and stuff under the lens, so I can't clean it and I can't really get it cleaned like I've asked. And then also sometimes it freezes, and it just freezes enough and it's dirty enough that for having YouTube as my full main job, I figured it was maybe time to upgrade. Also just in general to upgrade my camera, since I got it refurbished 3 years ago, but it's a camera that's, you know, maybe 4 or 5 years old. And so I decided to upgrade, and I actually am going to be doing a little unboxing in this video because I ended up getting the Canon G7X Mark II. And so I went into the Bozeman camera shop when I was in Bozeman, and I was planning on getting the Mark III. They didn't have it. I asked them to order it. They said it was back ordered for a while. And then you guys, do not do what I did, because I didn't even research the camera before I got it. Well, I researched in terms of specs, I think, or I talked to my friend David about it because he knows a lot about cameras, but I did not research reviews. And it was a brand new camera, and I just didn't think to research reviews because it was literally brand new, and also because I just didn't think about it because I made a mistake. But after I ordered it and it was back ordered, so I didn't even have it yet, I didn't pay for it or anything, I looked at the reviews and everyone's like, no, this camera's garbage, this camera's garbage, the autofocus doesn't work. And I know for me that having to deal with the autofocus all the time would make me not feel very good. It would make me a little angry. And so I was like, well, the Mark III, no, I already have the Mark I and I do want to upgrade. I was thinking of potentially other cameras, but honestly, I don't know a lot about cameras. And by I don't know a lot, it means I know nothing. I know nothing about cameras. The only reason I got the Canon G7X in the first place is because the vloggers that I watched 3 years ago, this was the camera that they used. And so I just followed suit and got the camera that they used and that they liked. And so that's why I bought this one. But so anyway, I kind of was thinking, oh, maybe I should just get like a different camera, like really upgrade. But then I was like, first of all, a lot of them are really big. And also, again, I know nothing about cameras. And I would like to learn, but I can learn on one of these point and shoots. This is technically a point and shoot, like you can't change the lens or anything. And I don't know. I just did not want to get a DSLR. I didn't feel like doing that. Maybe in the future, if I want to take more pictures or more like specific shots, I might do that. But I'm like totally good with the G7X, but I still wanted to upgrade. So anyway, I'm making the story so long. So I did my research and read a lot of reviews, and everyone loved the Mark II, said it was like amazing. It was great. The only big difference between the Mark II and the Mark III, besides the Mark III having garbage autofocus, was that the Mark III does have an external audio input, which would have been nice, but not really necessary for what I do. And so I ended up getting the Mark II. I got this like 2 weeks ago and I still have not opened it yet. And so I wanted to open it with you guys on camera. I bought it from the Bozeman camera shop on 7th, I think. It's marked for $699.99, but I got it for $649.99. I don't know if they had just a sale going on or if it was price matched to something online, which may have been it because the new one just came out. So how do I open this? Do I just like a little, like I'm a server? You guys, I don't know how people are servers and they carry so much stuff like this. I don't know how they do it. It's like magic to me. I have no idea. It's like that's like that wrist strength boggles my mind. All right. So I don't know how to open this and show you, so I'm just gonna kind of do this. Dun, da, 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 dun, da, da. Okay. So to be totally honest, I already did open this and charge the battery. So just to let you guys know. So it comes with all the dealer record for Canon purchase. And yeah, register now, but that's for Canada. One has to be America, I'm sure. Comes with a giant getting started guide. And it has some cardboard, not too much. It's not like too much excess packaging, but some just to keep it like safe and sturdy. So then it comes with a battery charger, which is the same battery charger and the same battery as the Mark 1. So that's cool because I can use the batteries that I already have because I have 2 batteries for the Mark 1, like for the camera that you guys are on, I have 2. So this one came with another charger and another batteries, and I have 3, which is cool. And then, dun, da, 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 da. Oh wait, what else is in here? Oh, a little strap. But I don't even know if you guys know, I have like a bigger strap, like a crossbody strap. So that's what I like to use. So I'll just move that from this one to the new one. And then here's the camera. Oh my gosh, you know, all right. I don't even know if I've eaten recently, but I feel like I need to like wash my hands before I touch it. Okay, hold on. Baby wipe my hands real quick. Okay. So, comes in this little plastic thing with more, what is this material? I don't know. Okay. Dun, 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 dun. This is so weird. So, it looks different. This has a little grippy here that one does not have, and the grippy is grippy. Like it has not only like a physical holder grip, but also this material is kind of grippy. And then I remember that one of the other differences is that mine has the flip up thing, but it doesn't do this. Mine just goes straight up. I don't really know the point of this. I guess if you're, depending on the angle, I guess it just maybe gives you more angles. I don't know. I usually just do it straight up like this. And I think most other things, at least like looks wise, are basically the same. And so I'm gonna put the battery in, and I did just buy a new SD card because the guy at the store told me that if I was gonna use the same SD cards that I was already using, that I had to like reconfigure them or something. And they're filled up anyway, and like, yes, I can delete stuff, but some things I don't want to delete. And you can never have too many SD cards when your full-time job is doing video. So got another SD card, brand new. 64 gig SD card, charged battery. And PS, this is not sponsored or anything. Like I did buy this myself and I just wanted to show you guys. So it's being jumpy. So I have to configure this, but I don't remember how, because I remember the one I have now, I don't know if you can even tell, was jumpy. And one of my friends was like, oh, you just have to set it to this. And again, I know nothing. But there's all like different settings and stuff, but honestly, once I have it to where I like it, like I have never touched it. I just make sure that this is on video and then I don't touch it. Anyway, I'm gonna reconfigure that later because I do not know, and I'm gonna read the manual and I'm gonna like learn more about this camera, even though again, it's very, very similar to the one that I have, just an upgraded version. So here, I'll show you kind of, here, should we do like a double vlog? It's just that it's a little jumpy. But I wonder if the quality is going to be noticeable. This is so weird. Okay, so I'll still finish the video on that camera, but then we will be on this camera from now on, which is crazy. I think the picture looks way nicer. Like my skin looks nicer. What's that about? Okay, anyway. Oh, closing this is gonna be a pain in the butt because usually I just do this. But if I do this, it tries to pull it that way. I'm just gonna have to get used to it. That's not a big deal. Okay, so brand new camera, party time. Oh goodness, okay. So I also have the GoPro Hero Black 7. That camera takes such good quality video, it's insane. And I also have a drone. I have like the cheapest, which was still like $400, DJI drone. but I don't use it. I want to use it, I want to start using it, but I just haven't. And so hopefully I will one day. But yeah, so those are the cameras that I have. Again, maybe in the future I might buy like a super fancy camera to do some fancier stuff if I ever think that I need to. But for now, these cameras are totally fine. Even just having this camera is totally fine for me. I'm sure you can get one that's less expensive, but I really like having this. And also just the quality of this camera has always worked really well for me. And it is just a very, very popular camera for vloggers. So that's the camera that I use. And then in terms of editing, I use iMovie. And a lot of people are gonna be like, are you serious? But yes, I am serious. So iMovie comes with any like Apple computer. And I have a MacBook Pro and it came with that. And I used that for years. And then I was like, you know what, I'm gonna upgrade and use Final Cut Pro. And so I got Final Cut Pro and I used that for a little while. And then it just, what did it start doing? It started like deleting my clips or like not letting them load or something just like out of nowhere. And I could not for the life of me figure out how to fix it. And so I was just like, you know what, until I figure out how to fix it, I'm just gonna go back to iMovie. And then I just never went back. I just stayed with iMovie because it just works well for what I do. You guys know I don't do like crazy edits. I cut out a lot of the ums and the uhs and the pauses. And if I double up on a word or if I like jumble up my words, I cut all that out. And so it's a lot of just like cutting and then deleting, and then that's it. And then sometimes I'll do text, I'll add music or extra audio, and all of that is very easy with something like iMovie. It's very user friendly. And honestly, if you just like Google some of that, you can get the hang of it in like probably a day, probably like an hour. That's just obviously depending on how you want to edit. Everyone has different editing styles. This is just kind of how I like to edit. Will I change it in the future? Sure, maybe. Will I get more technical and whatever? Sure, maybe. But for just how I edit right now, iMovie works totally great for me. And then how I used to do it was iMovie has, and I think Final Cut does as well, has an option to upload straight to your YouTube channel. But then on iMovie, it stopped working for some reason. And so I just download the file, and then the file is downloaded onto my desktop, and then I upload that straight to YouTube. Super easy. Depending on your Wi-Fi and stuff, it's pretty quick. And then I usually delete most of the files that I use. If something's really important to me, I might keep it on my computer or on the SD card. But once it's up on YouTube, most of the time I delete everything else. Some people have external hard drives, they save everything. I just kind of don't. I don't know, I just don't. Once it's up, I'm just kind of like, all right, cool, I'm done with it. Again, unless it's like super important footage that I really want to keep just in case. But besides that, does not matter to me. And so that's kind of how I do YouTube in terms of technical stuff. I feel like some people might even think that like I was a videographer, or I took lessons, or I took classes, or I always wanted to be a YouTuber, or anything like that. None of that is true. Like in terms of me starting YouTube, I just kind of started. During my first, why is right here so itchy? Oh, I think like my hair is like touching it. And anyway, okay. When I did my first few videos 6.5 years ago, I think it was like March of 2012 or something, 2013. I don't even know why I did them. I have no idea why. I just, like one or two of the first ones, I was just like goofing around with one of my friends. And then I made a few more of just like me hanging out, me sleeping in the car. And then I just completely forgot about them for like 2 years. And then I remembered that I had some YouTube videos up, and I just went to go check on them, and one had like 40,000 views. And I was like, what? Why does this have any views at all, let alone thousands? It boggled my mind. And so it just was like, oh, maybe I'll just do this again, because you guys know I'm really big on multiple streams of income. I'm really big on working online and doing a lot of different jobs and always having like that side hustle and stuff. And so I was like, all right, well, I'm just gonna pick it up again and see what happens. And it's one of those things, you have to treat it like a business, otherwise it will never turn into a business. And so when I picked it up again and I'm like, yes, I'm gonna do YouTube, I did videos Tuesdays and Fridays, every single Tuesday and Friday. Of course, I may have missed some, but every Tuesday and Friday. And I was not making like any money for the first year or so, like any money. Just kind of like general business advice is, do not start a YouTube channel to make money. You have to start a YouTube channel because you really want to do it and because you've made a decision to do it. And so again, when I started, it wasn't necessarily because I've had this dream being a YouTuber. I was just like, this seems cool and I'm gonna do it and I'm gonna see what happens, but I'm going to treat it like a business. I'm going to work at it. So if you treat it like a hobby, it's always going to be a hobby. Not always, there's exceptions obviously, but if you just kind of, oh, you upload whenever you want and you don't really pay attention to your feedback or your subscribers or what they're saying, and you don't really promote your stuff and you kind of don't follow trends and you don't see what people are watching and you just kind of do whatever you want, then that's a hobby. And that's fine if you want to do it as a hobby. But if you want it to be a business and if you ever want it to be something that could be even full-time income, you have to treat it like a business. You have to know when you're posting and you have to be consistent. You have to pay attention to things. You have to do what you want to do, but you also have to listen to what other people are saying. And it's kind of like having a restaurant and you're going to start that restaurant with your ideas, but then you're also going to read the Yelp reviews. And if everyone is like, their spaghetti sucks, if every single person says that, it might be something that you consider. That's kind of what I'm saying. Like, yes, stay true to yourself 100%, but also allow feedback, because otherwise you probably won't grow and you won't be growing with your audience, which is super important. It's really, really important to grow with your audience. So don't just listen to whatever they say and just do whatever they say, but just take it into account when you're making decisions for your own business. And so be super consistent, take feedback into consideration, have a clear goal in mind, know kind of what your brand is. And then in terms of starting, just start. If you're like, you know what, I really love knitting and I really kind of want to get into like the YouTube space of doing crafts, but especially knitting, that's incredible. First of all, go just watch some knitting videos that have a lot of views and see maybe why. See what the quality is like, see what they're talking about, see how long the videos are, see how much time is on their face and how much time they're talking and how much time is on their hands and how much time is spent talking about what. And I'm not saying exactly copy what someone else is doing, but keep all of that in mind, because it's almost like you're shadowing someone who's successful. And so you kind of know some steps that might already be working that you can incorporate into what you're going to be doing. So if you're like, you know what, all these top videos have a lot of just the hands, but honestly, I kind of want it to be a little bit more personal, then that's great. Have a camera further away and then have your hands and your face, or do some close-ups of your face and make it silly. Add your own spin on it. It has to be your own personality. Otherwise you will not stand out. You just won't. And so while you're taking other people's advice or their feedback or what other people are doing into account, you need to keep it authentic to yourself. Otherwise you'll probably quit. You probably won't do it for very long. And also people probably will not enjoy your videos as much as they would if you were authentic and true to yourself. And it's one of those things, like if you're just doing it to try to make money, you'll probably give up sooner. Because again, especially with something like YouTube, but with anything in the creative field, with most, if you're starting any business, because YouTube is a business, when you're starting any business, if you don't love what you're doing and if you're not super focused on it and super like, I am going to succeed at this, you will give up when it gets hard, because it will get hard. Like I just said, my first few years, I made no money. I made absolutely no money. I didn't really have a lot of views, but I stuck with it because I enjoyed doing it. And the comments that I did get and the views that I did get, it was cool. It was cool to be able to connect with you guys. And after about 3 years of doing YouTube consistently, 3 years of doing 2 videos a week, I started to actually see growth in my channel where it actually became an income for me and where I actually was getting like a ton of feedback and I was having a ton of growth with my subscribers and my view count. But it took 3 years of being consistent. Some people can be on YouTube consistently for 2 months and just randomly blow up. But most people, it will take a lot longer. Some people will take a few years. Some people will take 6 or 7 years. And honestly, some people might never blow up. But you are much more likely to if you stay authentic, if you work hard, if you stay consistent, if you understand your market, if you understand your brand, and if you just work at it, if you just work at it and treat it as a business. So that would really be like my top advice. And then again, in terms of starting, like I said, like the whole knitting example, just do it. If you're like, you know what, I want to knit and I want to knit this scarf that's cable knit and it's 4 different colors, just record it. If you watch, I would say the first 200 of my videos are not good. Like, they're not good. And so obviously strive to always be better than your last video or than your previous self, but also give yourself some grace. Know that there's a learning curve because it's a brand new business that you're starting, and understand that things take time. You have to learn things, especially if you're starting from scratch like I did, where I knew nothing about video cameras. I knew nothing about recording or editing. I knew nothing about YouTube in general. I knew nothing. I just liked watching YouTube. So it takes a little bit of time to learn, but you gotta just stick with it and just go, just do it. You guys know that's my advice with a lot of things. Just do it. Just record a video. And if you have iMovie, or I'm sure that even if you have Windows, maybe there's some sort of like free software that comes with that, or a very inexpensive one that you can get, and just edit a video and see, or even an app on your phone. If you don't even have a computer, they have apps on your phone that you can edit. So even if you don't have a camera, you don't have a computer, you can record on your phone. That's what I did for the first year. Record on your phone, edit on your phone, and put it up. And then stay consistent and work harder and see people's feedback. Again, really work on not taking all that feedback personally. If people are mean, that's really difficult. But if there's anything that's actually like, oh, I really like this video, but I couldn't really hear you, take that into account. Be like, oh, okay, let me see if I can increase the audio. So that's the kind of feedback that I'm talking about, that like hopefully you can listen to and understand that it's actually going to be helpful for your channel, because you know what people are going to want to watch, and then your channel will grow, your community will grow. And I know some people are like, no, just do whatever videos you want. Honestly, when it's a business, it just doesn't really work that way. Again, don't just do whatever your viewers want. It has to be you being authentic, you doing what you want, but taking that feedback into account. Because if people are not watching your videos, then you don't have a business. So you just kind of have to think of it that way. Stay true to yourself, but kind of incorporate other things as well. And so, yeah, that's kind of like my advice on starting a YouTube channel, and just kind of like some of the more technical things that I do in terms of editing and stuff. But if you have any more questions, please let me know in the comments. I would be happy to do a part 2 of this video if you want to go more in depth into certain things or anything like that. Or if you want even to watch me edit a video, maybe I could do that. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope that you enjoyed this video. Subscribe if you're not already. Click that notification bell for more videos. Follow me on Instagram for more daily updates. And that's going to be it. I love you. Jesus loves you. And I'll talk to you later. Bye.